This video goes through one of the most game-changing principles of self-development and leadership: extreme ownership. This concept, popularized by former Navy SEALs Jocko, Willink, and Leif Babin, has transformed the way individuals and teams approach leadership, accountability, and responsibility. No matter whether you're in the military, in a boardroom, or leading any organization, the principles of extreme ownership can elevate your game. It's all about taking complete responsibility for everything in your domain, your mission, your team, and its successes, and more importantly, its failures. Today, we're breaking down the key lessons from this powerful leadership philosophy to help you enhance your leadership skills and achieve success, no matter what kind of mission you're on. The principles derived from the battlefields in Ramadi, Iraq, might seem distant to our day-to-day lives. But guess what? These same concepts are being applied in businesses, sports teams, and even personal development, forging stronger leaders and more resilient teams. Let's jump right into it. Imagine this. You're in Ramadi in 2012 amid fierce gunfire. Jocko Willink, a seasoned Navy SEAL task unit commander, is leading his men in a challenging operation. But suddenly chaos strikes. His unit comes under fire, and a soldier tragically loses his life. In the heat of the moment, it's not the enemy you think it is, it's another SEAL unit, a friendly fire incident. Willink could have easily pointed fingers, blamed the other team, or the fog of war, but he didn't. As the ranking officer, he owned every misstep and took full responsibility. Here's the game-changing insight. By taking ownership of that terrible event, Willink not only saved his job, but he gained the respect and trust of his superiors and his unit. His superiors knew one thing that many business leaders overlook. Everyone can make a mistake, but true leaders take responsibility for the fallout. This principle, called extreme ownership, applies no matter the context. Whether you're leading in the military, managing a corporate team, or even taking responsibility for your personal life, understanding that you have ownership over everything, every success, every failure, leads to better outcomes. When you take responsibility, you empower yourself to make the necessary changes. Don't blame external factors or other people for failures. If something goes wrong within your team, whether it's a project that missed its deadline, a communication error, or a failed strategy, take ownership. Acknowledge what went wrong, actively seek constructive feedback, and then adjust. This one mindset shift can fundamentally change your entire approach to life and leadership. Consider this. Imagine you're managing a project at work, and it doesn't deliver the expected results. Instead of blaming the team for their poor effort, sit down with them, analyze the roadblocks, and identify how you as the leader could have provided better guidance, resources, or support. By taking ownership, you reinforce a culture of responsibility which will ripple down the entire chain of command. When tasked with leading his elite SEAL team alongside the newly established Iraqi army in Ramadi, Jocko Willink's initial reaction was, "No way." He knew that the Iraqi forces were not well trained, often ill-equipped, and sometimes even reluctant to stand by their American allies. But instead of voicing his concerns immediately, he took a step back. He realized that to be a true leader and to rally his men, he had to understand the bigger picture, the strategic importance of this alliance. Only after grasping the why did he communicate and convince his team to give it their all. One of the most valuable lessons here for leaders in any field is the importance of fully believing in the mission before presenting it to your team. If the leader does not believe in the mission, the troops won't either. Whether you are part of a corporate organization, a nonprofit, or even a sports team, people naturally look to their leaders for cues. If you don't believe in the mission, they will sense it, doubt will build, and mission failure becomes all but guaranteed. Understanding and aligning with the mission's objectives are critical to creating team buy-in and ultimately success. If you're given a task or a mission that doesn't make sense, don't just pass it on without question. Take the time and energy to understand its strategic importance. Seek clarity from those above you. Once you grasp why the mission is vital, you can then communicate and instill that understanding into your team, providing them with a clear vision. For instance, if you're in charge of implementing a new system at work, and your team seems unsure or resistant, first fully grasp why this system is necessary. Understand how it aligns with the overall company goals. When you have that understanding, you can then explain the importance to your team and help them see how their contributions are integral to the company's success. Another key principle to effective leadership is understanding the strength in cooperation rather than competition. During a critical mission in Ramadi, Leif Babin and his SEAL unit found themselves vulnerable, deep in enemy territory with no backup. Fortunately, they made it out safely, but there was a critical oversight. Another SEAL team was nearby. If Babin had coordinated with them, they could have had cover and moved out more securely. This scenario underscores one of the most fundamental tactics in Navy SEAL operations: cover and move. This means every element of a unit works together, integrates their efforts, and covers each other to accomplish the mission. Despite its military origins, cover and move is a principle that can be applied across various organizations. It's important to recognize that other teams within your organization are not the competition. The real competition is outside your walls, from competitors in your industry. Cooperation and teamwork are imperative, especially when everyone's working toward a larger goal. Break down silos within your organization. If different departments or teams are working in isolation or competing against each other, it fosters inefficiency and resentment. Instead, encourage cross-functional collaboration. Leadership should promote open communication and shared goals to ensure everyone understands that the end game is collective success. Let's say there's a marketing team and a sales team in a company. If they see each other as competition, they will refuse to share data or insights. This could harm the company's strategy and make reaching common goals more difficult. However, if they understand they are two arms of the same machine, responsible for different aspects of customer engagement, they can help each other thrive by sharing information, which would create synchronized, effective campaigns. Let's switch gears and talk about maintaining effectiveness under pressure. Imagine the middle of the night in Ramadi, and your SEAL unit is deep in enemy territory. Suddenly, a fellow soldier falls through a tarp, landing injured 20 feet below. To make matters worse, there's an enemy bomb outside, and backup is not an option. In a situation like this, the scenarios vying for attention are overwhelming. That's when Babin leaned on another key principle from SEAL training: prioritize and execute. This principle is founded on 3 simple steps. Relax, look around, make a call. No matter how competent you are, trying to solve everything at once leads to stress and poor decision-making. Instead, it's critical to step back for a moment, identify the highest priority task, and put all your focus there. By addressing challenges one at a time, you keep chaos at bay and maintain control. In high-pressure situations, start by asking yourself, what is the most critical task that needs to be done right now? Once you know this, communicate it clearly to your team, delegate what needs delegating, and execute. Then move to the next priority. Repeat this process as many times as necessary. Let's say you're a product manager, and on the day of a major launch, your server crashes, your latest update has a bug, and your marketing team is behind schedule. Instead of panicking and trying to tackle everything at once, identify the most critical issue, in this case, the server crash. Direct your focus on resolving that first, since it affects all other issues. Then you can move on to the bug and marketing schedule. By taking it step by step, you avoid compounding problems and ensure a smoother operation. In the military, a poorly executed plan can result in loss of life. Before launching a mission to rescue an Iraqi hostage held by Al-Qaeda, Babin learned that the hostage was surrounded by explosives and machine guns. Sounds like a mission impossible, right? But despite this, they went ahead as planned. Why? Because Babin had done his homework. He had anticipated such risks and developed a comprehensive plan that included contingencies for this very scenario. This is where true leadership shines. By planning effectively and considering every possible risk, you can make informed decisions, even when new information arises. In any leadership role, the ability to anticipate risks and mitigate them is key to success. Create a detailed plan that lists potential risks and outlines strategies to mitigate them. Identify the elements you can control, and ensure your team knows exactly what to do if the unexpected happens. This not only builds confidence but also improves your chances of success by eliminating uncertainty. If new risks emerge, talk with your team, bring up the plan and tweak it as necessary, but always be prepared to move forward. If you're planning a large-scale marketing campaign and you know there's a risk your digital ad platform could experience technical difficulties during high traffic periods, build a contingency plan. Allocate a backup budget. Diversify your ad strategy across different platforms, and ensure your team is ready to pivot on the fly. When you plan and prepare, you don't have to scramble when potential issues arise. You simply execute the contingency. Leadership also involves managing expectations, both up the organizational ladder and down. Back in Iraq, Babin was frequently frustrated by his command officer, who bombarded him with emails asking what he felt were unnecessary questions. In reality, the reason his commanding officer was so inquisitive was simply due to Babin's failure to provide proactive, detailed updates. Babin realized that his boss wasn't psychic and couldn't make informed decisions without adequate information. So, he started taking responsibility for streamlining communication and ensuring his higher-ups had everything they needed to support him. Here's the takeaway. Providing your supervisors with essential updates isn't just about staying in their good graces. It's about equipping them with the information they need to make decisions that benefit both you and your team. Leaders who fail to communicate effectively with their superiors risk complications, delays, and avoidable problems that can derail their team's efforts. Whether you're at the office or leading on a larger scale, proactively update your superiors. Don't wait until they ask you for information. Anticipate their needs. Regularly share the status of projects, any challenges you're facing, and how you plan to overcome them. This will strengthen the trust between you and your chain of command and make it easier for you to receive the support and resources you need. Imagine you're in charge of developing a new product line, and your company is intent on staying ahead of the competition. Instead of waiting for monthly check-ins, send your leadership team bi-weekly updates and anticipate their questions. Lay out where the team stands, what obstacles have arisen, and how you intend to address them. By being proactive, you position yourself as a strong, reliable leader. The principles of extreme ownership, as laid out by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, teach us the importance of taking full responsibility, fostering cooperation, prioritizing under pressure, planning for risks, and leading up and down the chain of command. As a leader, the ownership you take will permeate through your team, creating a culture of accountability, resilience, and success. Every challenge faced is a chance to step up. Every risk is an opportunity to prepare, and every failure is just another lesson that gets you one step closer to victory. Ownership isn't just about leading in the workplace. It's about making every aspect of your life your responsibility. When you stop playing the blame game, you put yourself back in control and unlock your potential. Consider what aspects of your life need more ownership. Start taking the reins now and watch how everything changes. Thank you for joining us today. Stay accountable. Lead by example. Remember, extreme ownership is the key to unlocking an extraordinary life. See you in the next video.